At this time, I would like to welcome our first two candidates for Board of Education Post 1, the Chairman, Joe Edward Green, incumbent, and Mr. Eric Burrell. Please, you can clap. Yes, please. All right, and this is just my beliefs. You know, these guys and these ladies that are running, it takes a lot of courage for them to do this. And not everybody's got an opinion, but not everybody's willing to act on that opinion. And, you know, no matter what you believe, disagree, or agree with, these guys and these ladies have the courage to do this, and not everybody does that. So, So I would encourage each of you to pray for them, number one, hold them accountable if they become elected, but also thank them when you have the opportunity to thank them, because I guarantee you they don't hear that enough, and they don't get paid enough to do what they do. So please do that when you see them out in the community, and I encourage you again, please pray for them. Gentlemen, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. All right, the first question, and this is going to be for Chairman Green. It's give us a little bit of information about yourself and what is motivating you to run for this office again.
Well, yes, I'm the incumbent. I'm running again. This will be my fourth term if I'm blessed to be elected. Just to back up just a little bit, my name is Joe Green. I live in the Red Hill community. For those of you that don't know, I've been a firefighter for 30 years in Red Hill, assistant chief, and I go to Allen's United Methodist Church. The reason I want to run again is because I think the future is brighter than what we've been through in the past. We've got a much brighter future coming to us. We've done great jobs, great things, but the best is yet to come. We have seen a recession like we've not seen in many, many long years. And we've just come through that, and that entailed cutbacks, it entailed shorter days, shorter school year, even layoffs and that sort of thing. It's been tough. But the teachers are the ones that have gotten these students to where they are. They've made advancements. They've done great things, even during this period of cutbacks. And I owe every bit of that to the teachers. They've done a fantastic job, and I want to thank each one of them. Whether you're here or not, I appreciate that. But I still think that we have more that we can even do from there. We've got a brand new superintendent coming in, and Mr. Randall, homegrown, local boy, 28 years in education. But June 1 will be his first day in the driver's seat. And in order for him to be successful, I think that he needs a cohesive and experienced board, and that's why I'm running again.
Thank you. Mr. Burrell, you'll have the same question. Give us a little bit of information about yourself and what is your motivation in running for this spot on the school board.
Okay, I'm going to just simply start by telling you I'm Eric Burrell. A lot of you may or may not know me. I'm a small business owner in Franklin County. Own Royston Pest Control. I've been doing business in this county for 18 years. And through the 18 years, I've had the privilege of serving restaurants, store owners, school teachers, coaches, just a gamut of folks, from the Red Hill community to the Gumwah community, to Bold Springs, to Franklin Springs. It's been a fast 18 years, and as like Joe said, it's been a tough economy. We're coming out of a tough recession, and to have navigated a small business and to grow it as I have, I've been blessed. And I also serve as a volunteer firefighter for the city of Royston. I've been with the fire department 12 years. Listen, being on the fire department, the volunteer fire department, you never know. But I can tell you, all are one team, and you better know your role. Because when you pop up on some of these fire scenes out there, you know, it's all a team effort. And with the government regulations on the firefighters, it's becoming almost a full-time fire job or part-time job. I also volunteer at our church. Lisa and I are both members of the Royston Baptist Church and have been for over 25 years. I serve on the House and Grounds Committee. I laugh. I got on that committee 15 years ago, and I can't get off, it seems like. But Lisa is also, I've been on the deacon board. I'm currently the secretary of the deacon board at the Royston Baptist Church, and church is an important part of my life, and it has been. I'm also the husband of a school teacher. I'm fortunate enough to have married Lisa. She's a rock. She has been a mentor to hundreds of kids over the 24 years. Again, I understand the commitment it takes to be a school teacher, and I live it every day. And I hear the ups, the highs, the lows, and I can tell you by the end of September, I can tell you what kind of year it's going to be. So it's always an adventure. So I'm a spouse of a teacher. I've also had the opportunity to raise a daughter here in Franklin County. You may not know me, but you might know my daughter, Mary Catherine Burrell. Mary Catherine was a very outgoing, and I don't want to sound like I'm too more, a well-rounded student. And she was a product of this Franklin County school system that I'm so proud of. And she's had the opportunity to continue her education with an academic and also athletic scholarship. So we were blessed to have a daughter that we're proud of and that was a product of this county and this school system. So who am I? I'm a businessman, I'm a volunteer, and I'm also a husband to a spouse who's a school teacher, and I'm a proud parent of a product from this school system. And the reason I'm running is because this county has been so good to me and my family. It's earned me a living working in this county, and I'm grateful for that. And I'm just grateful for the school system, and I'm willing to serve. And I really am serving as a servant, and because we're all called to serve, and we're all, to do our best and make a difference. And that's what I want to try to do for the Franklin County Board of Education. Thank you very much.
The next question we'll go in order like that. So your question, this is a question for you, Mr. Burrell. What do you see as the school system's greatest capital needs right now? And what would you do about the current condition of Royston Elementary?
Okay. The Royston Elementary School is an older school. It is in need of repair. The question is, obviously we're going to have to address that issue. I'm not so sure how soon that issue is going to be addressed, but that's got to be addressed. And I think what I understand is going to be addressed within the next 5 years, or there are some plans in the next 5 years. Obviously, being from Royston, I would love to have a new elementary school in the city of Royston. Man, what an asset that would be for the county and even all the taxpayers. But I think also not knowing all the information or having all the information in front of me, I can't rightly say, that's the right thing to do at this time without having all the facts.
Thank you. Chairman Green, this question is for you. What role does the Board of Education play in making personnel decisions? And if the emphasis today is on testing and continuous improvement, how does that relate to our hire of the athletic director and his record? What should be our criteria when hiring personnel?
Well, first of all, as Board of Education, we hire and fire one person, the superintendent. Period. The end. We don't hire anyone else. We don't hire athletic directors. We don't hire coaches. We don't hire teachers. That is all done at the school level by principals, by athletic directors, by the superintendent. Yes, we do get the up or down, the yay or nay when it comes to the vote time, when it comes time to approve. But we don't hire anybody but the superintendent. When it comes to, if you're talking about particularly with the athletic director, then the athletic director was chosen by a committee of coaches and administrators from both the middle school and the high school. And they looked at, they use, as educators do, those of you that are teachers in here, you look at rubrics and you score them based on everybody's answers and candidate answers. And that's what they look for in the superintendent was, in the athletic director. They scored on a rubric and chose the best candidate out of the field that they had. Now, when you question, the second part of the question was, what does it play? What part does it play in academics? Obviously, that has to play a great big portion. If you're hiring a teacher, whether you're hiring an athletic director or a parapro or whatever, you want the scores, the academic scores, to be the best that they possibly can be. But that is not the Board of Education's job. The Board of Education's job is to hire and fire the superintendent. And the principals and those sort of people are the ones that hire teachers and etc.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Burrell, this question is for you. What decisions over the past 4 years would you say, in your opinion, has the current board gotten right, has not gotten right, and what would be your approach in making move forward if elected?
What problem have they not gotten right, and what would be my solution? Listen, I'm a firm believer that you promote within the county. I think that's the greatest motivation for teachers to achieve or set goals and then to promote accordingly. I think they know best. They're on the ground, and they have a vested interest here because their families here, their loved ones are here, and it's irreplaceable. There's no place like home, and I would like to see us promote within. I don't have a real problem with the Board of Education. I know it's a tough job, and there's a lot of things I don't know and that are mandated, but certainly I think from the outside looking in, I would want to promote within. I know there's been a couple of hires lately that's brought it to the forefront, but that's probably the only thing I can see a little different.
Thank you. All right, Chairman Green, this question is for you, and this just came in. We recently hired a new superintendent, and what plans do you have? You just explained your role as basically hiring and firing the superintendent, so you, in addition, have to hold him or her accountable. So what plans do you have for the new superintendent to improve and continue to advance our children's education?
Everything that's done in the school system is done based on a strategic plan. Mission and vision statement and a strategic plan. The strategic plan is a fairly long document that gives numerical scores to each portion of the plan within the school system. This is the instrument that we used when we evaluated the superintendent every year. They come in with that strategic plan in hand and give us scores, and we score them based on each line of that strategic plan. The new superintendent will be held to that same strategic plan. Now, things do change. We do add to or subtract things to the strategic plan as time goes on and the state changes the curriculum. Teachers, again, over and over and over again, they change the curriculum, so that has to, some things in the strategic plan has to be changed. But specifically when we get to the superintendent and Mr. Randall that we have now, as I mentioned earlier, he's brand new. He's never been in the driver's seat before, so he does have a little bit of a learning curve. And he is already attending the Georgia School Superintendents Association, for lack of a better word, school for superintendents. It's about a 2-year school. They go over the weekends and they learn best practices to be a superintendent. And we have already encouraged Mr. Randall to go to that. He's all for it and ready to go. Not to mention the fact that he is working with the GSBA, the Georgia School Boards Association, for the first 90 days that he's in office. They will give him a mentor, another superintendent, who will be there for him, answer questions for him at any time, and help guide him through the first 90 days. So we'll be keeping close tabs on that and helping him in any way that we can.
Thank you. Mr. Burrell, this question is for you. In an era of limited financial resources, how will you gain support from taxpayers that have no children in public school as far as your plans moving forward?
Well, currently obviously, we're at the top of the threshold on the millage rate. And obviously, that's a sore spot with people that are on a fixed income or, don't have kids in school anymore. They tend to lose touch with how much it costs to educate a kid. And, all these are factors that can be offset by the county growing and bringing in industry to help us with our tax base. It's very important that we bring in other industry to Franklin County to help offset these expenditures. So that's going forward. If we're doing our job and we're turning out young leadership, people with leadership skills, and it's good for this county, then keep teaching job skills, then we're going to bring in industry, and that's going to help us with our tax base. So it's a pyramid. Everything works together. It's certainly it's something to consider.
Thank you. Chairman Green, a question just came in from the audience, and it said, when I left home in Bold Springs at 5:15 to come to the meeting tonight, I had to stop for a school bus still carrying the students home. How is this fair to students to go to school from 6:15 to 5:15?
Well, it's probably not fair. It's probably not fair. It is a long day, especially for those that live out in the outlying portions of the county, whether it's Bold Springs or Gunlog or those areas. It's difficult. And when we have a longer school day, we have shortened the school year, the number of days that they go to school. They used to go to school 180 days. That's what we always went. Right now we go 164 days, but we still go the same number of minutes, which means a longer day. The students are actually in school longer. So when you're there, a longer school day, and you live further away from the school, then unfortunately it is going to be later getting home. But that's part of the logistics that it takes to keep, and that's one of the cuts that we had to make to help make it through the financial crisis.
Thank you. I had another question submitted, but due to time, I'm not going to be able to ask that one. I'm going to basically give you all the final question, and it's to both of you. We'll start with Mr. Burrell. Basically, just give you a minute or two just to ask them to vote for you and why they should vote for you.
Oh, excellent. Well, it would be an honor to serve the county that I'm so passionate about and I've raised my child in, and my wife is a teacher, and I just feel like we have talked about doing this for almost a year with Coach Davis, the athletic director, leaving, and Dr. Odell fixing to retire. I just felt like the time was right for us to give back, or myself to give back. I'm passionate about this community. I'd love to see it soar. If you're paying attention, the tennis team's on a roll, the baseball team's on a roll, and I think the tennis teams are both in the Elite Eight. Is that right? And the baseball teams had an incredible record. Also the golf team. So it's a great time to be a Franklin County sports fan. And I'm passionate about sports, and all the coaches there to be commended. So if you see them, tell them what a great job they're doing. I would listen. I would appreciate it if you vote for me on May 24th. Thank you very much.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Eric. And I echo what Eric said. Both of our children went all the way through the Franklin County school system and got an excellent education. One is a doctor now, or has her doctorate, and the other is in the cattle business. But both of them will tell you, they can point back to what they learned at Franklin County High School to get there where they are in their lives. And I echo exactly what Eric says. And that's part of the reason why I ran in the first place. And why I like to keep running, or why I'm keeping running to get another term, is because, like I said earlier, we have more that we can do. An awful lot more. We've done great things. The teachers have done great things. But we've got more that we can do. With the new superintendent coming in, again, it's a perfect opportunity to keep moving in. I would appreciate your vote. I have no underlying agendas. I have no ulterior motives. I have only the desire to serve. I pay for everything every sign that you see out there, every card in your hand, I pay for personally. That's not saying nobody else should, that's just the way it is, because that's how important I think it is. And I appreciate your vote on the 24th to keep Franklin County moving in the right direction. Thank you very much.
All right.